Hey there, I'm Walker. This is Dance Walker Tarot. I'm doing a reading for Cancer, a timeless reading whenever you get this collective. I think I think it might be collective, so it's for whenever you find it. And I feel like for somebody there's a lot of intolerance like towards you in a supposedly very tolerant community with the Castro here in reverse. Um, So metaphorically, the Castro here in the San Francisco cards could be that's it's kind of like the gay mecca of the world, and everyone's very accepting, except not really. Like there's a part of the gay community that is very intolerant of like anything femme. Like an example would be Violet Chachki, the drag queen, the famous burlesque star, not being allowed into a gay club in Paris because they weren't masculine enough, because they were presenting as too femme, something like that. And if it's not something like that, and you're like, oh no, I'm just a regular, whatever the terms are for that at the moment, like you're just like at church and they're being very intolerant towards you. It's a situation that should love you, that should support you. So it could be a family too. It could be a family, but there's some injustice happening, or that happened to you in the past, and the truth is coming out. So stay on your toes. Stay on your toes. Like, it might be a situation where you decide that you have to block them and bless them and move away from that community. But you have to speak your truth. This is about communication. If you see something, say something. Almost like your inner child wants you to stand up for this. If it's not you, it's somebody that you know. Avoid arrogance in doing this, though. So it's about being compassionate and humble, whatever it is. But mission murals in reverse with the moon there talks about immortality and eternity. So you are this being who is probably extremely clairvoyant, and you are very good at navigating on land and underwater when you need to. You prefer to be comfortable, but you're very flexible, whoever you are. And I feel like you've been as flexible and understanding and forgiving and loving as you could be. Like, you're not being tasked to accept intolerance anymore in this environment that is supposed to be so tolerant. So if you see something, say something, cry, child. Mm. Has something been wasting your time? I got that Mark Lee song in my head, child. Oh God. Where he talks about really not being able to speak his mind and really wanting to do so, and kind of shoo away everything around him that is trying to suck him dry and waste his time. He's a K-pop idol, by the way. Um, so if you're a Cancer, you're probably very alluring and sexy, and for someone, I'm just hearing you're like the life of the party, and the party doesn't start till you walk in the room, even though you're an introvert. So what does that mean? I don't know. Comment below if that sounds like you, because um, you need to say something that you've been trying to hint at. Okay, let me get just right down to the bottom of it. With the immortality and eternity here in the moon card, that's representing you with trust. It's trust yourself that you know right from wrong. Trust yourself to be able to see clearly and almost be hmm, the arm of justice. And maybe for somebody that can't speak up for themselves, you're going to speak up. But it's about not just writing a song about injustice, not just writing a blog about injustice, but actually starting like litigation or something. For some of you, it's literally you decide to run for office, or it's literally standing up against someone who is so like progressive in the community and like everyone loves them and they fight for everyone's rights and they're, I don't know, maybe even a gay advocate, or if this is the church equivalent of that community, it's like um, the holiest of the holy is abusing somebody or abusing their position or being intolerant. And it's like, wait a minute, that's not God. Okay, so if this is a church situation, I'm not going to argue over semantics, guys. So can we just like all agree to not argue? For for somebody like you've been agreeing to not argue over it and it's time to change direction, cross the bridge from inaction or from passive action to proactive expression. But you might need to forgive yourself a little bit first here, or forgive someone that is still harboring some hate in your heart, or it's like they're living rent free in your head. Baby step would be you say it out loud: I have decided to forgive you. Don't forget, but you forgive, so that you can move on to healing. Oh, that's beautiful. I didn't even notice that. Crystal, healing. You are able to heal yourself, but maybe not with that person around you or not in that environment. There is a connection with you to eternity. Oh my God, I keep forgetting to say that part. Let me take a breath. Devotion, immortality, eternity. You're kind of outside of time and space as an artist or as a voice or um, a leader, like a leader, you know? So understand that nothing lasts forever. If this is you're finally leaving a community or a church or a congregation or whatever it is, or a neighborhood that you never thought you would leave, forgive the people and move on. Just because you might still have feelings that haven't been squashed yet, or like you didn't get any closure, that doesn't mean that you don't move away from it. Maybe moving away from it is that closure. But you also need to say why. You need to say, I'm leaving because this and this. This is not fair. Lion is justice in Untamed Elemental. Lion is justice. And it's speaking up for what's right. And it's saying that um, like someone is supposed to be standing up for someone and they're not, or this is supposed to be a safe space for a marginalized community, or it's not. Like it could be, if it's just kind of like a day-to-day community situation where maybe someone is like they're not from there and it's supposed to be some sort of a safe space for them and they're just like being bullied, or it could be as simple as that's you and that's how you feel, and it's telling you that just because someone wanted to alienate you doesn't mean that you allow it to happen. So the state of mind that isn't really helpful for you right now is the I'm not from here, fuck this place, I want to go home, I'm not human, I'm something else, I'm something apart. That's not really helpful right now. Yes, we're all from different places. We're all from different places. But one of us is all of us is really. Like if you were to meet one of them in real life, you know it right away. It's not, you know it right away. They don't come around. Let's not talk about that. So you are human. You have a heart. You feel pain. You feel anger when your time is wasted. And you feel upset that injustice happens where it needs not be. So for you to stand up for yourself is standing up for your inner child. I'll put a link to Mark Lee's song below. It's an awesome song. But it's like you need to say what's on your mind. Your time is precious. Your soul is precious. Okay, so tell the truth, even maybe to someone that you know, like, oh, we're fighting against them, so I won't talk to them. It's almost like being a mafia boss or something, to be super melodramatic about it and then changing course and realizing that you are being abused and held captive by something that was you thought initially would protect you, the family, or the cult, or whatever it is. It's time to change direction and cross a bridge that maybe you never thought you would cross. It's okay to change sides. It's okay to distance yourself from games or those who play games. It's not time for you to play games right now. It's time to stand up for injustice. And if that is as serious as being an actual creator, content creator, you're going to go from talking about the injustice to boots on the ground, doing something about it, whether they like it or not, whether the glorious leader approves or not. Okay, forgive anyone who causes you to feel anguish or resentment in your heart. Literally, baby steps, just say it out loud, and that turns into healing. You healing yourself. And the earth matching you and reminding you that you're not separate from it, that nature will embrace you. When you decide to be humble and fight for her, Mother Nature will fight for you when you fight for her. Human beings will fight you for that, but nature itself will embrace you. So if the only hug you get this week is from a tree or for a tree because you're around a bunch of hate, 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 it's like the player haters ball. There's a player haters ball around you right now from the Dave Chappelle show. Hate, 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 hate. I hope everything bad happens to you and everything you love. Like, none of that, okay? You release all negative energy that doesn't belong to you, that once belonged to you. It belongs to you no more. There's going to be an integration of sound healing, of music healing. You know, you don't just listen to healing music, you sing along to healing music. That's how you heal yourself. That's meeting Mother Earth halfway to move forward. But before you do, this change is from being maybe not passive, but actively passive, into saying something, making a complaint. If this is a relationship you are being abused in, you step away, you decide, all right, I'm going to go to the police. I'm going to get a restraining order and I'm going to protect myself. Or if it's someone you know who's being abused, you're like, hey, you guys, this is happening. If it's a friend group, this person is supposed to be this like stand up leader and they're beating their spouse or their person. And maybe it is a marginalized community where it's like they might be undocumented and those people can't call the police, you know? So it's like someone who, or it could be they hire undocumented people and then don't pay them or they abuse them. And it's time, even if you're not in that boat, to stand up for them because they can't at least bring it to some authorities' attention. It's not ratting them out, it's doing the right thing for you, for the world. And I mean, if you want to be selfish about it, your karma, but that's not what you're about. So I'm not even going to go there. It's more about you honoring your inner child, which honors this kind of immortality, a being outside of time and space, but you're not apart from this world right now. Okay, you're not. You are a child of this earth. You are not a mistake. Oh my God, I don't know. I had to yell at you like that. I'm sorry. I feel like crying, but you are not a mistake. You are a million years in the making, and you deserve honor, and you deserve justice. Or it's happens to be your place right now to stand up for an injustice. And a clue would be, remember, be humble, avoid arrogance. Okay, don't be attached necessarily to any outcome here, but the warning would be don't take any risks either. You know, if you're going up against someone who is very unhinged, you know, you're going to make sure that you speak your mind in a safe place where they can't like stop you in the middle and work some sort of voodoo hocus pocus on everyone to glamour spell themselves out of being responsible and culpable for what they did. So if that means you having to kind of work in silence to make this happen, maybe it is a blog. Maybe that is it. You coming out and saying, I know that this person in this community that is supposed to stand up for marginalized people is abusing their power or not paying their people or abusing an undocumented person or abusing their mate. And because it's like a same sex relationship, they can't call the police or they might whatever. So there needs to be healing from injustice for you. So if it's not something that happened to you, there will be healing for you in stepping up and saying something and fighting for justice. It's that it's very much the Los Angeles fist in the air, rage against the machine. Your anger is a gift. Use it to propel you forward and be proactive and get this out. Whatever the truth is, it's time. And even if people want to fight you on that, you can always retreat to nature. You can always retreat to nature, but you kind of have to cross that bridge on your own, okay? And if you feel like crying, cry. Cry it out. It's Mercury retrograde. I cried like the whole reading, like 2 readings ago. Like I cried the whole reading. And so if that's you and you have fire or what water in your chart, I'll put a link to that in the description. You're about to meet the love of your life, soulmate. No joke, no lie, no cat. But cry it all out. Cry it all out. Your inner child needs that healing, and that's something only you can provide for yourself. So also decide to forgive. Move away from hate. No haterade. No hate. Don't be a part of any haters' balls. Sorry. That's a specific message for somebody. Don't be don't be involved in any haters balls. Okay? Um you're not going to be able to buy yourself out of this or ignore it. It's time for forgiveness. It's time, if you see something, say something. It's time for healing. It's okay to be a baby and be a child and say, I don't feel safe and I need to say what's on my mind. Okay? Shout out to Mark Lee out there doing his thing. But whoever you are, you inspire people. You inspire people. So, what your truth is a reflection of others' truth. So, you're going to inspire people to be courageous. So, no matter what the reaction is, think about it that way. You're a beacon of light, whether you feel like it or not. And they don't always look like we want them to, or like society wants them to. You might not fit the part of the whistleblower or the truth teller or the beacon of light, but it's still you. It's still you. And you're exactly who you need to be. So if you just needed a pat on the back for that, pat on the back for that. I honor you. You go ahead and say to whatever the for somebody, you have a really funny sense of humor. And okay, no messing around with any haters balls. Don't be a part of any haters balls. Honor the child within. If you see something, say something. It's about being proactive with justice this week. You got this. I'm so not worried about you. And I'll see you on the other side of that bridge. Mwah. All right, I'm Walker. This is Dance Walker Tarot. And I'll see you for the next one, okay? Love you guys. You got this. Bye bye.